Now let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room a former Eagle quarterback, A.J. Feeley. A.J., welcome into the locker room.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
All right, A.J., we got a new season starting. We got a new quarterback. I wanted to get you on today because, I mean, you were a quarterback in the NFL. You know what it's all about. A.J., tell us, what is Carson Wentz? What's he going through mentally? What's he going through?
Mentally, I think, he's just preparing for the game. I don't think the game's going to be too fast for him. After seeing him play in the preseason, despite playing against the number 3s there in the last half of that game, you could see that he was fairly athletic and nothing was too big for him. So right now his mindset is studying the game plan, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, developing a rapport with the guys at practice and going into the game with just, hey, take it one play at a time, try to get easy completions, and let the chips fall where they may.
AJ, how complex is it to be a quarterback in the NFL? I mean, you just hear that you take so much in, there's so much in preparation, but I mean, you played the position. What's it take to be a quarterback in the NFL?
It's tough. I think it's probably the hardest position in sports. And what makes a good quarterback is his ability to absorb a lot of information in a short amount of time and be able to react to it. So, the guy obviously has proven that in the college level, at the high school level. So I don't see that being an issue with him moving forward here in the NFL. But, it's there's a lot of factors that go into a quarterback's success. I mean, you're only as good as, the play calling around you, those guys putting you in good positions, your offensive line, and having wide receivers to get separation that make throws easier for you. If you have a guy that doesn't get a lot of separation and you have to be perfect with every single ball, odds are, you're not going to have that much success.
Hey, AJ, this is Josh. Can you talk to about the value of having a head coach who's a former quarterback and an offensive coordinator who's a former quarterback around a rookie like Carson Wentz?
Oh, dude, it's a perfect situation for a quarterback to come into because they've all played the position. They know what works and what really doesn't work. Something on paper might seem like it's, the perfect play, but only a quarterback who's been behind the line can actually experience that and understand that, it's not as easy as it seems. Let's do it this way because it makes a little more sense. Puts the guy in a better position. So that, he's lucky to have that in his corner. It's key. I mean, I think every quarterback, who ever played in the league would love to have a former quarterback as a quarterback coach or a head coach or an offensive coordinator.
We're talking with A.J. Feeley, former quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's played on a few teams during his career. AJ, you've watched Carson Wentz in a couple of the preseason games, and you watched a little bit of him. Have you seen any flaws in his throwing delivery?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about flaws in his throwing delivery in the NFL, until you're blue in the face. My thought process is a guy got to this point, being able to throw the football. You can't change something at this point. It's like Tim Tebow. I mean, everybody equates he needs to change his motion. But it's all about arm whip. If you have arm whip, then you can throw a football. It's a reason why a 6'5", 6'6" guy that's muscle bound and looks like he could throw the ball 100 miles an hour can't throw faster than 70. Yet you can grab a guy off the street who's 5'7", 5'8" that has arm whip and can throw 100 miles an hour. There's no real rhyme or reason other than the arm whip. It's the same thing with throwing a football. It's either you have or you don't. And when you get to this level, obviously you had success at the former level to get to this level, so you don't want to change all that much. He's pretty long with his motion, but as long as he's quick with it and he gets his feet set, I don't see a problem.
Hey, AJ, if we can look back to your career, you had two different stints with the Eagles back in 2001, 2002, and then 06, 07. And during that one stretch during 2002, you had to come in for Donovan McNabb for 6 games. Talk about that experience for you being thrust into the starting role halfway through the season.
It seems like it was forever ago. At the time, it was we had a great defense, and I knew that my role, each week was to not try to lose the game. And then with each game and with each play, I kept gaining more and more confidence in my abilities, and they kind of took the reins off a little bit as we went into that stretch of playing. But it was a fun time. I mean, we were a really good team and a great supporting cast, and I was fortunate to be the guy at that point.
AJ, I get a chance to see you. You go to a lot of the Eagles games. I've seen you in the concourse. You going to the game Sunday?
I am not. I am not. I got a little one. I got 2 kids now.
We can tell. We hear.
So, yeah. So we're running a little daddy daycare at the house. So sometimes it's better to watch the game on the tube. You get better angles.
What do you expect to see from the Eagles as a team tomorrow? I mean, you obviously with the new quarterback, I guess they're gonna kind of maybe prepare a little differently. But what do you expect? What are you looking for? What are your keys to the game for tomorrow?
I actually have no clue what to expect. I guess if we're talking about expectations, I expect the defense to play well. I think that's the strong suit of their team right now. Offensively, I think they will have a balanced attack unless they fall behind early. But that's the great thing about this game is that every year stands on its own merit. So you don't know what the identity of the team is going to be until usually 3 or 4 games into the season. So there's a chance for them to establish an identity tomorrow.
AJ, I know you said that 2002 is a long time ago, but I'm going to ask you to go a little bit farther back in the time machine here because what's overlooked is that you were actually a very good college quarterback as well at Oregon. So I want to ask you, what is the difference between the college environment and the pro environment for a quarterback?
Yes, the environment itself and game preparation, there wasn't a lot of that was all that different in terms of that, other than having to go to school when you're in college. But the amount of time that you put in watching film, game planning, practicing and working out was all about the same. It was a little tougher in college just because then you had to go back and deal with schoolwork. In terms of the game, I always tell people, in talking about quarterbacks and how it relates, in college when you were running 7-on-7 or throwing balls to guys versus defense, the guy that was covered, so to speak. If you went through your progression, 1, 2, and 3 were covered, and then you found the open guy. Well, in the NFL, the guy that's covered or that's supposed to be open is the guy that was covered in college in terms of the windows and where you're throwing the ball and how accurate you have to be. So the guy that you're like, don't throw to that guy in college because he's not open. In the NFL, that guy's the open guy.
AJ, I got one more question, a little bit tongue-in-cheek for you, and that is, you also played behind Joey Harrington your senior year, so who actually was a better quarterback, you or Joey?
I would say collegiately because it's hard to go against those 30-3 as a college starter and up for the Heisman. But definitely in the college ranks, I think he definitely takes the mark there. But in the NFL, I think I have him beat.
All right. AJ, listen, man, I know you're busy. You sound like you like going on at daddy daycare. But
daddy daycare, man.
Want to thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to call into the locker room. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
All right, everybody. That's AJ Feeley, former Eagle quarterback.